Fisher. This is BBC Essex. Well, I am delighted to welcome the cast of Closer to the studio. It's coming to the Dixon studio at the Palace Theatre, and it's coming at the end of this month as well. Not too long to wait now. Well, Sophie Rose Darby plays Alice, Natasha Stone is playing Anna, Harry Ryan is playing Dan, and Francesco Manfredi is playing Larry, and they're all with me in the studio this afternoon. Very close. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you. Very good.
Which is rather apt, I would say, to be honest. Francesca, I'll start with you. You play Larry in the play, but for those that maybe haven't seen the play before, or indeed the film, which I think starred Jude Law back in the day, tell us a little bit about it, first of all.
So the play Closer is about a lot of things, really. It's about love, loss, loneliness. I play Larry. He's a doctor, a dermatologist, and he comes from a very working class background. I think, unlike the other characters, class is quite an issue for him. It's a play about a lot of things. It's relationship based, isn't it? It's from very different backgrounds. Harry, you play Dan. Where do you stand in all this?
Well, it's this play's got strong political themes, and it can be a play where an actor can really fall into a trap of being quite indulgent, and it can be quite a showing off one's skill. So we were really conscious that it was, we stood sort of strong to the message and the political themes of it, and it's a very relevant play in 2018 as well, the quality and sexism, etc.
Yes.
Dan is an emotional guy, which kind of is the modern man, and for a play that was written in the 90s, where there weren't probably a lot of men like that, so it's a measurement perhaps of how manhood has changed, etc. But and I suppose myself are quite emotional at times. So
it's perfect, really. Natasha, you play Anna. Tell us more about Anna.
Oh gosh, so Anna is a photographer in the play, and I think she's probably the only one that manages to hold herself together through most of it.
I'd agree with that.
Much like all of us, which is great. I think the thing about Anna is that, much like the other characters, she's always looking to get closer to what she wants. You know, Anna's very much someone that wants to be loved. I think she's someone that's probably been hurt quite a lot in the past, and I think that's one of the great things about this play, is that with all of the characters, it's all something that each of us can relate to.
Yeah.
Everyone's been there, everyone's been on their own, everyone's been heartbroken, and that's the nice thing about this play, is that it is so truthful and it's so emotional and it's so raw, and there's so many different elements of each character that people can come and think, oh God, it's not just me.
Exactly. Yeah, they can mirror their own lives to a degree as
Absolutely.
well. And then just behind my screen, I've got Sophie, who plays Alice, because there's a full studio today. Sophie, tell me more about Alice and her character.
So Alice is a very, very interesting character. She's a lost soul. She doesn't really know who she is or who she wants to be. She sort of just moulds into whoever will listen, and whoever. Yeah, she's so lost, and she just wants to be found. She's an amazing person to play. I am completely privileged to be given this opportunity, and she's just somebody who just wants to be found. Literally, she just wants to be found, and I think she resembles every single character in this play merged into one. Yeah, she's very, very interesting.
Yeah, isn't it funny how when you get something like this, plays that are very character driven, how for actors it's a real gift, isn't it? Because an awful lot of the time, you know, in many plays, I'm not going to name names, but there are some plays where you've got a lot of stereotypes on stage. You know, you are the stereotype of whatever, and I would have thought in this one as well, Francesco, you've got a chance to really make the most of this opportunity as well.
Definitely, yeah. It's a really juicy part. The rehearsal process has been really challenging, because although in Larry I can see some of myself, there's also a lot of traits in him which I think, why does he do that? And I've got to sort of work it out as an actor to figure out why he does this and he behaves a certain way. He's quite a dark character. He's funny. He's sort of charming. But he's been a difficult one to sort of work out. So yeah, it's been a wonderful journey.
And you're playing this at the Dixon Studio Theatre, the Palace Theatre in Westcliff, and that's going to be amazing, isn't it, Harry? Because you're going to be in a very intimate surrounding, which I would imagine lends itself really well for this play.
Well, it does, because for me, Closer is 12 sort of snapshots of intimate dialogues between two people. that's constantly on like a perpetual conveyor belt. And so a small pressure cooker environment like the Dixon is perfect, quite right. And it plays true to the idea that it's a very intimate set of very unique circumstances that happen to these individuals. So I think on a bigger stage, although we would love to have done it on a bigger stage, I think the studio is the perfect space for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting too, isn't it, Natasha? Because you guys, this is your first big production together.
This is our debut.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is quite an intense play. You didn't go in with half measures there, did you? You're straight away there.
Straight in at the deep end.
Yeah.
And I think I speak for everyone when I say this, is it's very difficult these days to be able to find a play for 4 people that is as challenging for an actor to be able to delve into these parts as this play is. And I think that was what really drew us to this play, is that we wanted to find something that we could all individually get our teeth into. And it's been an emotional roller coaster. All of us have really been dragged through each one of these feelings that each of the characters have been through. It's like having 12 breakups every time you do a rehearsal, which is quite a toll.
yeah, exactly. Emotionally draining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well.
We've had a few falling outs along the way, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. It's all part of that creative process, isn't it, I suppose? Sophie, does it help as well that you guys know each other pretty well, that you can do something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've known the guys for coming up to 8 years now, is it? Gosh, yeah, that's a long time. And Tash for like 4. But I mean, the journey that we've all been on outside of acting as well is has just improved the way that we are in the room, and we've all been taught differently. Although we were all taught by Mark, we've all gone off to do our own separate training as well. So to come back 8 years later and be like, this is what we are, this is what we're doing, here we are, is fantastic, and we're still 8 years on learning from each other, and that's incredible. And I just know when we continue doing this journey, we're going to continue to learn, and it's
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because I mean, we all, whatever performance style you choose or however you're taught, we all have our own strengths and weaknesses, I suppose. And when you're all together there, you can help each other out to a degree, can't you?
You can do. You know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and of course, weakness is an important part of Closer, and sort of identifying each other's weaknesses. And we do know each other well, but there is a downside to that, I suppose. Being very friendly with one another has had its challenges, but I think it was for the best that we knew each other. I'm pleased that we were friends and not strangers.
And it's helped us as well, because this is our first production, and we're doing everything ourselves. It's entirely self-funded. We've done all of the tech, all of the set, everything. I think it's been really close. Really great, because we are all such good friends. I think if we were strangers, it'd be difficult to be able to say, okay, right, we need you to do this. We've often been staying up to 1 o'clock in the morning, or driving vans of stuff around to each other's houses, trying to pitch together and make it work. And I think there's 3 other people I wouldn't choose to do this with. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, I think it's great as well that you take on a project like this, and you are absolutely a unit. So whatever happens, you can all help each other out, and it's incredible when you look through the stories of people. I mean, you look at how Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber started out. With Joseph, for instance, doing it in school. Very small unit, and just taking it out there, and that's where it all begins, isn't it? You think, but yet, even with that in mind, you're still taking on a big play.
That's right. That is completely true. And I think a lot of actors sort of perhaps sit around and wait for the work to come to them. And I speak for us all when we say that as friends, we sat around and thought to ourselves, we're quite tired of waiting for the work to come.
Yeah.
Because we all have full-time jobs, Tony. We all work. So we thought, well, let's put our money together, do some good use, and collaborate together and put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
So it's also been brilliant working with Mark again. He was an amazing director. Yeah. I've literally learned so much from him as an actor. And working with sort of old friends again, it's just been brilliant. It's been brilliant, and I just really hope next week it will go brilliantly well, and it's just going to be amazing.
There are some naughty things in the play, though.
We also mentioned this, actually, didn't we? Yeah. In case you're thinking of taking the kids with you, you might want to think, what's it if we're going to certify this? I suppose really it's a fifth. Would you say 15?
25.
Harry.
25.
I would say 15. Definitely a 15.
20. Do you know, if it was a 25, that's a real USP, isn't it? We're going to go and see this. It's a 25.
I don't really think you're doing much for ticket sales today, actually, Harry.
There was a time in the cinema industry when there was, cinema goes through a bit of a downside about every 20 years or so. And it was during the video revolution when VHS and Betamax first came in, and people were staying home renting films. And they said, what can we do with film to get people to go back to the cinema? And they started with the double X. So films, which were now 18s, used to be X certificate. And so they started to say that this is a double X. And people were flocking to see these films, which were just 18 movies, ordinary 18, but they were a double X. If you had a horror film that was a double X, it was doubly scary.
Well, Closer's a quadruple X.
No, it's not.
Quadruple X.
The ticket sales going down.
It's more the sort of the language.
Yeah.
There's a lot of naughty text in it, and there's breakup scenes which sort of can make the audience go, "Oh, but it's real life."
Yeah,
It's more
it's
truthful.
real.
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
break up and it's horrible.
It's fantastic. Essentially, I mean, look, we could sort of talk about the serious themes and this, that, and the other, but above all else, it's just a great piece of entertainment.
Yeah.
And it is, and it's got important messages.
And it's funny. It can be funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's charming. It's sad. It's funny. It's interesting. It's glamorous. It's about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But apart from anything else, it's just a good piece of theatre.
And I think it's engaging. People want to see what goes on behind closed doors. And I think Closer very much gives you that voyeuristic view of, actually, this is real life. People do this, and naughty stuff is said and done.
Yeah.
But I think there is something quite fascinating about watching a piece of theatre that is so realistic and so raw and so alike everybody else's lives at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is amazing, isn't it? When you think that you can go on stage and do that, and the audience are going to feel like, as you say, that voyeuristic thing, which is what intimate theatre is all about at the end of the day, isn't it? When you see something and you think, it feels like you've been through it with them, which is just going to be great.
Absolutely.
This sounds terrific. I want to say huge congratulations on working so well together as well and putting this on. It's opening September 27th to the 29th. You can get your tickets right now from the Palace Theatre in Westcliff. It's in the Dixon studio there, so tickets available from the Southend Theatre box office, of course. So what are your plans after this? And what's the grand scheme? What do you want to do next?
World domination first.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're probably all going to have a very, very long drink on the Saturday night and a good sleep on the Sunday, and then back to work choosing a play on the Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be really nice to work. Well, I'm sure we will work again as a group. Carry on doing some great work. I think we'll have a little break first.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a break. I think this one of the purposes of doing this in the Dixon was just friends and family and sort of to get a budget and hopefully tour it. That's really the plan, and take it up to London, where it's. I hope it's going to be quite successful there.
Yeah,
But
because once we've done it once, this was a practice thing, wasn't it? And once we've done it once and how successful it's already being,
Yeah.
who knows where we can go with it?
And we just hope that people will get behind us, local people, and we just really appreciate the opportunity.
Off Broadway. That's what you're going to be doing there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bit of off Broadway, mate. Even Hamilton started off Broadway. Or did they? It's great to see you all.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so
for
much.
coming in.
Thank you.
And all the very best with it as well. It sounds amazing. It really does. Sophie, Natasha, Harry and Francesco, my special guests this afternoon. Don't miss Closer. Go along and support them as well. And what's going to be a terrific production, September the 27th through to the 29th. It's BBC Essex.